And we're off. We're recording. It's official. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Does anybody have an active Koha emergency?
Oh, we just found out yesterday we can't delete anybody from the from a serials routing list at 24.05. So I opened a bug on that, and my assistant director CJ might try writing a patch. So
I would love for routing lists to become less bad and weird and broken.
yeah,
I kind of don't understand how they could be useful as they are now. So Godspeed, make them good.
yeah, yeah, or at least be able to get people off the list after they quit.
Yeah.
Or move on to the next opportunity. So yeah.
This is Jenice with the Mississippi Department of Archives and History, and I have a question concerning Elasticsearch.
Sure.
So, when we're now migrating, we have migrated to Bywater hosting us. And so when we did the migration, we just did it with the default Elasticsearch settings. But now we have come to where we want to make some changes. And from my understanding, I'm supposed to submit a ticket, and then you all make the changes, and then you run the index again. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay.
If you change those mappings, anything you change there applies to every record going forward. So Bywater also needs to, run a script to go back and update that for everything else in your collection.
Okay. Okay. So when I got one more meeting, and then I should have everything I need. And then do I make the changes, or do I put them in the ticket for you all to make the change?
I'm going to push back on your wording a little bit and say, I don't work at Bywater anymore.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know.
Okay. All right.
Probably they'll want to make the changes themselves, but I would just verify that with them.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. I'm just a know-it-all. Are you adding exciting local fields? Seems like your collection would be specialized enough. You might get to really get the most out of that in a fun way.
I have not gotten many requests to add local fields, but they're talking about, how the results show up. And so we're having to change some weights and things. So
that's fun. I just like a highly specialized collection. It makes interesting issues.
Well, look, the main thing is everybody's stuff is more important than somebody else's.
That'd be an interesting search weight. Make anything I've made top of my lists because my stuff is obviously the most important.
Yes.
Rebecca has a question in the chat. She says, I have a note from the webinar that there is a new protected patron status. What's the syspref name for this? I can't find it. Is that a system preference, or is that something you set someplace else? Adding protected status for patrons. I don't know if there is a, here, let me share my screen. Are you seeing a bug? Bug 26170? Okay. So this is the thing that adds that protected status. It says it adds a yes, no in the patrons record. Yeah, so there doesn't look like there is a system preference. It's just if you're, this is the wrong browser. Hold on. You, come here. It's my cat. We can do whatever we want to his record. Yeah, so there's just a field there, protected yes or no. Now, as to where I would set that field, it's a fair question. Okay, so maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, man. Can you
What
set
would
this
be
when
the
creating
reason to protect a patron?
so that they cannot be deleted by like automated patron deletion. The first use that jumps to mind for me would be like any patron account, yeah, that's for SIP or an API thing. Like I know we've got a patron in our system that owns the API key that Overdrive uses to talk to our system.
Okay,
And if they got automatically deleted, which would be like they don't ever check anything out because they're not a real patron, so it would be easy to accidentally delete them.
gotcha.
Okay, I'm still trying to figure out exactly how that gets set though, because I did not see like just a flag for it when editing his record. Just why I stopped sharing my screen, because I'll never find it if you're all watching me. I mean, this looks like it should just be adding a checkbox. As mentioned, I have too many windows, so now I'm all confused. This original bug to add protected status got really, really long. Yeah, there should be a checkbox for it. I just must not have seen it. Or we hit it. That seems possible. Oh, we did. I'm making this harder than it needs to be. Okay, so there is, in fact, hear me unhide it. I had checked the box in the borrower unwanted fields. So if I unhide that and I go back to Magnus and I edit his account, there we go. Protected yes or no. So right now it's just per patron. Rebecca, were you looking for like a way to batch protect a whole bunch of people, or? That works. And I think you could set that in a batch edit, but then you'd have to round up all the people you want to add that value to. Oh, and if they're all staff cards, they should be somewhat protected from deletion anyway. You can never protect too much, I suppose. What else is everybody up to? Did y'all get back from the Koha conference full of cool ideas and implement all the exciting things?
I have a longer to-do list now. That's always good.
Is anybody working on any fun reports issues?
Mhm.
I'm glad you enjoyed the conference, Rebecca. I should say here and now, you probably will have gotten an email from me with requests for 2025 conference locations. If you would like to host a koha-US conference in 2025, we could come to your library. You could have the easiest travel job of all. You might, there you go, you might offset your lack of travel through organizational preparatory work for the conference.
It's actually being thought about here in Rhode Island.
It'd be fun to go back to the East Coast. I don't know, would I offend people by talking about Rhode Island and New Hampshire as being very similar?
Not me.
That's From my Midwestern point of view, all of those New England states are very small and squished together. So how different can they really be?
Yeah. We have better beaches.
That's true. I think back on all the time I spent as a child swimming in the Mississippi River, and I just don't know that I would go do that again.
Well, I'm starting a challenging project, which we did on our old ILS, which is the NCOA National Change of Address Database processing through Unique. And yeah, so I don't think that's something I can do. I think I'm going to have to ask Bywater to do the database edit when the returns come back. Has anybody ever done that where you're basically feeding in the borrower number and address fields that need to replace the old address fields?
I mean, that should be doable. That's just like a batch patron import.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you're looking at your whole patron database, and that probably is something Bywater wants to do on the back end.
Right, yeah, yeah. So yeah. So anyway, it's I'm very nervous about it, but I'm sure Bywater will take good care of me with that one. So
Yeah, it seems like something that should be fine in theory.
yeah.
There's no obvious reason that should fail.
Yeah. So
Well, good luck. Let us know how it goes.
thanks. Yeah, we'll do.
That seems like ultimately it could be a real slick, like automated plugin thing that just sort of takes care of itself.
Yeah, yeah,
But,
that'd be great.
Someday.
Yeah, yeah.
Hilde asked a question in the chat. She says, we have set up a test server only accessible on our local network, and Bywater gave us information on how to import our patrons and bibs. But is there a way to also import our system preferences, such as circles and patron categories? Theoretically, yes. Bywater could copy that stuff over from your production site to your test server. Trying to think of any ways that would get especially complicated. But yeah, if your test site is already set up with the same like patron categories and branches and stuff, it shouldn't be too hard to just copy all the system preferences and circles.
I have a question about a test server. We have a test server on our network. It is not on the same version that we just migrated to. But if I
Okay.
wanted to upgrade the test server to the same version as our production, is it best to upgrade it, or is it best to just spin up a new one and then import the information?
I guess I'd be inclined to upgrade it, but I don't have like a strong feeling of why.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't, kind of on the fence there. Oh, Rebecca, you mentioned that in the Bywater Partners channel. Rebecca has a SQL thing in chat.
I did. Sorry, I know my microphone's really bad. I don't know why. I sound like I'm in a tunnel. I'm very sorry. But yes, I have a report that I'm trying to count the number of overdue items and checked out items, but exclude the long overdue lost items. And I also need to exclude any patron that doesn't have either checked out or overdue, because right now I'm pulling the whole patron database, which is taking quite a bit. So I'm struggling. I can put in my SQL into the chat if that helps.
Sure.
So here's the SQL, and this is actually based on one of the reports in the wiki.
Let's see if I can get that to copy out reasonably.
Yeah, so my first hurdle is how do I get the patrons that have nothing checked out or overdue excluded? And then the second hurdle is how do I get the long overdue lost items excluded?
Oops. So looking at your query, you're only trying to find things that are currently checked out and overdue. You're not like looking at
Correct.
past it. Okay. Phew.
Yeah.
That makes things easier.
They just want to know how many patrons have items checked out and overdue items, you know, so they can see like, oh, they're still checking things out when they're overdue. They're trying to determine what that rate is.
And
what I was,
you need
sorry,
the borrowers table in there because you want to know things about the patrons.
yes.
Like,
So we
okay.
can go to their record and look to see what kind of pattern of items they're checking out. Now, what I was thinking is I could add a where statement where items are not lost. And that
Yeah.
would exclude that part. So that's that hurdle. But if I exclude the lost in a where statement, would that exclude them from the calculation?
Yes.
Okay, so this is actually easier than I thought. I just needed to
Yeah.
talk through it with somebody.
Yeah. And I might if you start with the issues table and sort of like do that query in a parenthetical and then join the borrowers onto that, I think that should only give you the borrowers that actually have overdues.
Okay, I can try that.
But
Thank
yeah,
you.
that seems doable.
Sometimes you just need to talk it through with the group.
Yeah. Where did I put my notes document? Oh, Peter's got a question in the chat, but I put the chat in a weird place. Peter says, can I turn on registration date in patron columns? Can you explain what you mean?
Hi, when if you just do a basic patron search, say for all your residents, we get card number, name, date of birth, library, expires on, but there's no registration date option to turn on, it looks like.
Yeah, so you mean in the search results?
Yes, in the list.
Is there...
It's in the patron record, but I don't think you can turn it on to display and sort in the column.
Yeah, I think you are right, unfortunately.
Because we
And
wanted
also,
to do
like,
it, we wanted to do an update based on registration date. Bywater is actually working on it for us, but we haven't heard back from them yet.
so you mean like in this screen?
Exactly.
Yeah, I think we're out of luck though, because like even if I go to the configure table,
Yeah,
it's just not an option in here. So unfortunately, I think it would take an enhancement to get that value to show in this screen.
that's what I thought.
It'd be easy to get the same data in a report, but then you're not using the same patron searching exactly. But yeah, if you could come up with a SQL way to find the patrons you're finding here, that'd be my best suggestion.
Yeah, just add registration in.
Yeah.
I'll try that.
Yeah, you do hit those places where it's Koha hasn't expected you to want a field and there's just no flexibility. As much as it's happy for you to add and hide the things it kind of expected you to do.
Yeah, just yesterday I did a bunch of batch edits to patrons by doing a SQL report and putting it into Excel and then just copying the barcodes over and changed them a batch at a time. That worked pretty well.
It reminds me I need to chase down a ticket about patron imports. Yuck. Okay. It's for me to worry about later.
Yeah.
I have a question about pages.
Sure.
Once you create your page and you put your publication date in, I see under display location like staff interface and OPAC or staff interface.
Yeah.
What if I wanted it to be a link on the OPAC page? So like I have FAQ, I created a FAQ page. And so if I wanted a link for FAQs on the actual homepage of my OPAC,
Yeah.
how would it appear?
So the page, creating the page makes it exist, but yeah, it doesn't put a link anywhere. You'd need to add that link. Really, you've got a bunch of places to do it. You could do it in a news item, or here, I can show you an example.
Okay.
Come back here and here. So like this news item on our homepage, this is a Koha page that I put in a link for.
Okay.
We don't use the Koha OPAC, so I can't, like I could pull that up, but it's not much to look at. No, that's our Aspen. I never even remember where our Koha OPAC lives. Yeah, so like if I made a news item, could be like a box that lives over here and has a link in it, or it would be easy to add a link to this bar along here. I can't remember exactly what the system preference is that adds those
Okay.
these days. Again, because I don't play with the OPAC a lot.
Okay. Quick question.
Mhm.
Like our page, we have the default, the left pane, the right, and then the middle. How
Yeah.
did you take away the left and just have this?
I think I just don't have anything defined over there.
Okay.
And that'd be here in these HTML customizations.
Mhm.
I just don't have anything set up for
Okay.
the OPAC. Where does that go? Somewhere. Maybe I need to give it a date. Oh, there we go.
There it is. Okay.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
if you probably have an OPAC nav HTML customization already in your system, and you could add a link to it.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank
That's
you.
not- You're welcome. Make that go away. What else is up, folks?
I actually asked Chip about this a while back via email, and he is everybody using a third-party vendor to manage SMS messaging?
We are, and I know there was a big explosion of questions about it. Was it last month that Verizon started being even worse about the free email version? Rebecca in
Okay.
chat says they use MessageBee. Jenice says they don't do SMS.
Yeah, we were just getting some patrons that were using Verizon saying, hey, what's going on?
Yeah. I think you have a lot of company in that ship in recent time here. I've not really played with Shoutbomb much. Yeah. But yeah, it seems like there are a lot of options. They all cost money. They all have pluses and minuses. Nobody seems to have found the perfect thing. I've been enjoying the simplicity of Twilio, but then again, it's not. When it goes wrong, the simplicity is not that fun. There's sort of not much customizability to it.
And the cell providers keep tightening up security and making things difficult. We got an email from Unique about MessageBee about how we have to have an opt-out capability, and yeah, so anyway. So,
When it works, it's great.
Yeah.
oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well,
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
that's okay. I had something trivial if you got a question.
Well, I was just gonna say, I did my page, I did the publication date. So what would my URL be for the link to the page?
That, let me show you rather than try to explain, because it's on a page that doesn't make a lot of sense.
Okay.
Share that again, not you. Come here. Back in tools on that pages page, I've got it hidden. Again, because we don't have any OPAC, but this column here, the page URL, there should be for you one that is the OPAC URL, and that's what you want to copy. You
Okay.
can just copy that link address.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. They don't make it very clear. Like this page, the page that lists all of your pages, I don't like the way it looks. It doesn't make visual sense to me, but I'm not quite sure what it should be to make more sense. Rebecca asked in the chat, how many are going to 2405 at the end of the month versus already on it? Any advice for those who aren't on it from those that are? We're an early adopter. We've been on 2005 for a couple months. I wish I had better advice for you. Some things broke. They got patched. I think my big advice would be like, don't be that complicated. And that's not actually workable advice. Go back in time and be a small library. Yeah, Chip's thing is good to be out ahead of. It's a small, easy fix for any of your bookmarked URLs for reports are going to need to change. But it's kind of a hassle.
So if you just go to the report, you can copy and paste the URL, run the report for somebody, and send them the new URL. But the other thing we couldn't recreate, I'd shared some report URLs that would just call up the whole group for like circulation department group reports, and there's still not a way to do that we found. But in most cases, we're sharing just a hyperlink to a specific report.
Don't think there's anything 2405 that's like still broken for us or still causing us headaches.
Yeah, they fixed most of the problems.
Feel like there might still be a serials issue or two.
Yeah.
But I haven't been looking at serials because I try not to.
Mhm. Serials can be scary.
Not to leave you totally without resources, Rebecca. Danny Elder in the Bywater Partners chat would know. She's in the early adopters group and has been paying attention to serials. If you have serials worries. All good. Don't really use serials, as is right and good. I'm looking back in the early adopters channel to see if there was anything like crazy in there. Yeah, nothing unresolved. Oh, you got JavaScript deleted on you? That's a bad scene.
We have one that's still going on. Items in repair are showing on the pick list that they use to pull holds off the shelf.
And they
Which-
didn't used to?
They didn't used to.
We have not had that problem.
So that's actually a damaged status of in repair.
Weird. I have no answer for you other than, oh, that's weird. That shouldn't do that.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, why is it doing it to you and not to us?
yeah. It's supposed to be in the queue for a fix. I haven't checked on it lately.
Well, technically this meeting goes until 11. But we don't feel like we have a ton of meeting momentum. This is me slow rolling the threat of kicking you all out of Zoom.
I
Quick,
have a
quick.
question.
Go for it.
Okay, when I clicked on the URL in that box that you told me,
Mhm.
it told me this page does not exist. URL has a number 39 at the end of it. But then when I go back to the pages page, there's a number column, but it's blank.
Can you share your screen? That's
I
weird.
can. Can you see that?
Yeah, okay, so you've got a
Yeah.
page.
Uh-huh. And then when I click default,
Mhm.
that's what I get.
Does it change if you log into the OPAC?
I am not sure. Well, I'm logged into the staff client right now,
Yeah,
but you saying log into the.
I wonder, yeah, if it's like not showing it to you because you're not logged in.
Okay. It's
That
linked
didn't.
to my old way right now, but this is where I want the link. I want to put the link on this FAQ right here and take me to that pages. That's what I
Okay.
want.
Yeah. It doesn't look like
So-
it actually logged you in. I think it didn't like your password.
Probably need to go into my HTML customizations and on that left nav, change that link
Yeah.
to the one. Okay. I forgot about that. I will try that.
Yeah, I'm not sure why it's telling you that page doesn't exist. Like it looks like you made it right.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Rebecca has a SQL question. We wait. Watch the chat intently. What's the fastest way to get from the borrower's table to the authorized value table? Join wise. I mean, I don't know if there's a really fast way. So you mean like, so as you're looking at patrons, you can see the like the description value of the like your B sort codes, those things. And patrons to items to authorized values. So you can see the authorized value of an item that is tied to the patron. Sure. So like this patron has an item that is checked out to them and that item's lost value is this. Yeah. Okay, so we can say select from. So we're going to start with issues because that's where we know what's checked out. We're going to need some item information. Oh, good. Jenice got fixed. Left join. Oops. Okay, so then authorized values get a little weird. There's not like a really easy way to do this. So we're going to say join get the authorized values, and we're going to join on. Yeah. And yeah, let me get this a code. I usually call it like lost because this join is going to be specific to the value for which we're getting the authorized value description. So we're going to say lost where i.item lost. So that's the field in the item record where the code value lives equals lost dot authorized value. So in my authorized value table, the authorized value, that's what's going to match up to what's in the item record. So item lost equals authorized value. And the category of that authorized value equals lost. Because if I don't include this, there are other authorized values in here. Like if I'm saying, find me everything that is item lost equals 1, and tell it that anything in the authorized values table that is 1 should be translated, it's going to get confused because it's also going to find 1 is an authorized value that means damaged sometimes. So we need to specify my lost value can be replaced with the label lost. So then I can say, if I want to actually get that value, lost.lib which is not very clear, but that is in the database schema. And authorized values. Category is lost or damaged, whatever type it is. The value is the actual code. And then lib is this description value. So it's going to be a dumb report, but here we go. Oh, and I broke it. I don't know. I don't know why it gave me an error. It doesn't matter. But yeah, you want to join the value in the item record to the authorized value in the authorized values table, and then limit it based on the category of the authorized value. And if I wanted to like do this for other values, like say I also wanted to see that damaged value, I would just join again, damaged. So then this is going to give me my lost value, and this is going to give me my damaged value. They have the same field name. They're both .lib, but the table, the created table we've made, changes its name. Ta-da! Thanks, Chip.
That was awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, folks, last call. Chip's talking, but he's muted.
I was about to mention one more bug in 2405, but it looks like they've got it patched for 24.05.04. So
Nice.
if that's what's being rolled out later this month by Bywater, it'll be fixed. It was we couldn't get to the mana database. We still
Oh,
can't. Yeah. It gives a forbidden error 403 because of the security upgrade they did.
oh, sure, that makes sense.
Yeah. So
Oh, that's a good 2405 thing to be aware of. Broadly speaking, there's been a big security change that like shouldn't have big ramifications, but has had some silly little ramifications. I'm gonna forget the acronym CSRF. Anyway, Koha has changed so that every time you log into Koha, it saves like not a cookie, but something similar, a little, a file on your computer to identify you as you. And as you keep doing stuff, it's checking that file with each action you take to make sure that, yeah, this is still Andrew logged in from such to such computer doing the stuff. We ran into several things around Koha that didn't work, like buttons that didn't work or gave an error in some way because of this security upgrade. And I think most like those have been fixed, and they were mostly pretty small and easy. I've had more than one staff member run into weird login issues related to this change. And it's all staff members who have their computer set up such that when they sit down for work each day, they open their browser and it tries to open 3 Koha pages all at once. It's like opening the check-in page, the patron search page, and the point of sale page. So it hits all three of them. It hits 3 login pages. And then she would go through and log in on this page, and then that page, and then that page. And the way the CSRF works, it's like the second login invalidates the first login, and then the third login invalidates the second login. So she's, at that point, it looks like she's logged in on 3 pages, on 3 separate tabs, but 2 of those tabs, the moment she touches them, it's going to tell her to log in again, because she like sort of logged herself out. I've struggled to make this not confusing. Basically, it all comes down to don't keep logging yourself in, log in once, and then open pages from there. It gets confusing. It gets confused if you log in over and over again. And remember that you can always just reload the page if you are logged in, but Koha's not sure about it. And see, I still haven't really found words that make complete sense for how that worked. I got as far as, okay, Josie, just open one tab, log in there, work from there. Thank you for acronym checking me there, Chip.
Thanks for your help. I got another meeting I gotta join.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
Have a good day.
I think that's probably about it for us. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank
Y'all
you.
have a pleasant day. We'll see you another time.
See you later.
Adios.